So, welcome to the next episode of Mixing and Mastering My Subscribers' Songs. In today's video, we're doing a song called Piece of Art, which was submitted by Elijah. They said that they wanted to have a Kendrick Lamar type of feel to this song, so we're going to go ahead and listen to what they have here and see if we can achieve that sound.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug.
Okay, so we have a pretty cool, pretty simple rap song here. Not too many vocals, and it's not too long of a song. So there shouldn't be too much work that we do with this. Now, I do want to highlight songs like this because every song that you mix or master is not going to always have a whole bunch of steps to it. Sometimes you have a really simplified recording process where you don't have too many vocals, too many harmonies, if any harmonies at all. So sometimes your mixing process is going to be a little bit shorter because your song is a little simpler. Now, one thing I am going to do, because I noticed that you stacked your entire verse, which that's totally fine to do. Some people like that style. But for the purpose of what I'm doing, I'm going to do it how I would mix the song. So I actually like the way that it sounds when we just have one vocal here.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk.
Let's go ahead and add our compression. So the tried and true, you can't go wrong with a CLA 2A.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug. I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar.
So we just introduced a little bit more presence to our vocal here with those two plugins. Those are the two that I always like to start with. Whatever plugins that fits for you will fit for you, but those are my two go-to plugins to start everything off pretty much always. So that's almost never going to change. And if it's not the CLA 2A, it's going to be RVox or something like that, you know? So with this vocal, I don't want to do too much like crazy processing because I like the way that it sounds just plain. I like how it sounds raw. I don't want any reverb on here. So we're going to try to figure out a way to add a little bit of character to this vocal without giving us too much processing, because again, I don't want it to sound too digitally processed, or even if we had analog stuff here, I don't want it to sound over processed. I want it to be as natural sounding as possible, but still giving us a little bit of that Kendrick character or tone to it. I think next up what we can do, let's go ahead and pull up our Puig Tech. And this is going to be an EQ here. So this is more so for our low end over here, and this is for our high frequency over here. As you can see, we have the two different frequencies that we can tap into right here. I'm going to go ahead with the 100 here because it's tapping more into that lower range. And I want this to sound like it was recorded on like a performance microphone, not a studio microphone. I want it to sound like, you know, he's got his hand around the mic and it's got that muffled feel, but not so much to where it sounds bad. I want it to have that idea as if it's like a cipher, and you know, the sound isn't perfect, but we want to be able to control that imperfection. So I'm setting this to that lower frequency, and I'm going to boost it just to about 4.
Talk about popping up. I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk.
We're not going to attenuate.
Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug. I don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't.
And then for the high frequency, let's check that out.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug.
Notice that presence change.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar.
One thing I do want to try and see is just how it sounds if we put on a slap delay here. So I'm going to go to H delay. I want to do milliseconds though, because I want to get that really close slap delay. Let's get the dry down here. We'll solo this.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug. I don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't talk about popping the molly, holding a gun, and it's.
I want it to be very subtle. I don't want it to really step too much on the toes of my vocal, but I do want it to be kind of apparent.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug. I don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't talk about popping the molly, holding a gun. And it's real fun when you try to get big but can't.
Now, there are these vocals down here. This is just like a little background, whoa, yeah, or whatever you say.
Molly, holding a gun, and it's.
I want to do a full-on pan to the left and the right, and then this one will do 30 to the left and 30 to the right.
Popping the molly, holding a gun, and it's.
But we also need to copy our plugins here. So let's go to copy channel strip settings for our lead vocal, and then we'll paste that to these for background vocals.
Molly, holding a gun, and it's real fun when.
So now we can lower the volume of these.
Holding a gun, and it's real fun when you try to get big.
I think it'd be cool if we maybe put a delay on these. So if we ran these through bus 1 here, and we just add another H delay. I love H delay. It's really cool. Let's turn up the mix on these, turn these down a little bit more, and then for the counts, we'll do, oh, she. So I think that should be a quarter note.
Holding a gun, and it's real fun when you try to get.
We also have to make sure that this is the right tempo. H delay is going by the tempo of what the DAW says, which this says 110, but I don't know if that's right.
A gun, and it's real fun.
It's not right. That's why it's really important when you record your song that you set the key of your song first before doing any recording, and you set the BPM of your song before you do any recording. That way, you don't have to deal with things getting time stretched automatically if your DAW does that. Sometimes it can be a headache to figure out how to get things to, you know, sit right or to disable for time stretching and all that stuff. So rather than having to deal with that, set that stuff before you ever record your first vocal. So that way everything is already synced the moment you add the tracks and all that stuff. So we're gonna see what the tempo of this actually is using auto key.
Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug.
So we're at 89. All right, so now that you see we have the tempo and everything lined up, our delay is actually on beat now.
Image of a thug. Don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't talk about popping the molly. The image of a thug. Don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't talk about popping the molly.
Now, what we're gonna do is we already have this copied and pasted, or not copied and pasted, but he has a vocal dub recorded that is doing everything that this vocal is doing. So now I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these vocals to only appear in certain points.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said
or play guitar, we'll do that.
I ain't say I love purple or play guitar.
We're also gonna lower the volume of this.
Purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug.
All right, let's listen to that.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk. Walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug. I don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't talk about popping the molly, holding a gun. And it's real fun when you try to get big but can't. Don't promote enough tough shit in a tank. And flex money and projects that ain't. And can't afford to turn down any place just to get a taste. You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated.
All right, so the next part of this song, I see here that you have some stacks here that you did. You panned them. That's great. And you have this vocal transformer that's shifting the pitch of your vocal, which is a great tactic to do if you're trying to achieve that Kendrick Lamar sound. But there's definitely an easier way to do this using Waves Harmony. So I'm going to go ahead and actually mute all of these stacked vocals here, and we're gonna take this vocal, put it on its own track, and get it right down the middle, because we're gonna go ahead and basically achieve the same effect that you have here with a much more simplified process. It might seem like it's daunting because this plugin does have not a huge learning curve. It took me just a couple minutes to figure it out.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated.
So that's our vocal that we're going to be shifting the pitch of and getting different vocals with. So we have our main unison vocal here. That's the note that is being sung. Once again, we're going to take 2 points. I'll do one here and one here. And basically, these are going to be two different pitches. So we have a pitch at -5 and a pitch at +7, according to our key here.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose?
Now, if you want to change the effects of this, you can change the pitch, you can change the format, the fine tuning, you can add delays to certain harmonies, you can add feedback to certain harmonies and certain filters to certain harmonies, you can even pan them. So in this case, we're gonna go ahead and try to match this with what you already have down here on these vocals.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated.
So we have a lower vocal. So this one, I'll say this will be the low vocal. And also the way that this works is to the left, that's gonna be your left pan. To the right is gonna be your right pan. So it's panning the vocal within this plugin. So our lower vocal is gonna be a little bit panned to the left and our higher vocal is gonna be panned to the right. So we get kind of a unique sound when people are listening to the music. But we're gonna go ahead and click the solo button to solo just the lower vocal. Get the pitch down to that lower range. I'm gonna turn the level up just so we can hear it a bit more. Maybe shift the format.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose?
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose?
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose?
So that's a great start. It's a great start. Now, if we want to go ahead and get like even crazier, not super crazy, but just a little bit more in depth with what we do here, we can add some of this automation to different parameters here. So I'm actually going to add a mod here to our pan. And if we click this and we drag it up, you'll notice that now our vocal is going to be, it's going to be panned to the right, but it's going to be kind of like a real ADT feel, only it's happening with our pan. So our vocal is on the right-hand side, but it's also being panned on that right-hand side. So if we solo this.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated.
So it's going from all the way to the right to like slightly to the right to all the way to the right. So it's giving us a little bit of movement with that vocal, which adds a cool effect to our vocal. And we want to do the same thing on the lower end. We're going to add the modulation. And when you do this, actually, this is what you're adding. So it's going to be this little curve here that's happening. And that's why it's shifting from left to right because of this. If we went ahead and changed this, we have different shapes that we can select from, like curves, we have zigzags, we have different things here. If you want to go ahead and do that, I'm just going to go ahead and go with what we have here. So now both of our vocals are going to be moving like this in the soundscape.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose?
All right, so let's listen to what it sounded like before with all these stacks here that you did.
You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose? Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow trends, I don't steal to present whole. Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't pretend to get praised like
use Waves Tune Real Time to just dial in. Like, we don't want to have this to sound digital, because I think this song, we want it to sound as much like a cypher or a performance as possible. So we don't want it to be super auto-tuned. I just want to barely correct the notes so that the ones that are flat or sharp can hit the key where we need it to be, but not digitally.
Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow.
Right there was a good one.
Ooh, I'm a piece of art.
Ooh, I'm a piece of art, art.
Ooh, I'm a piece of art.
I'm a piece of art. I'm a piece of art.
I don't. Ooh, I'm a piece of art.
Perfect.
I don't follow trends. I don't steal to present. Oh.
I think I do want to add a little bit of a reverb on this singing part here. So we're going to use our bus 2. We're going to add Waves CLA vocals, make it a large reverb, make it a quarter note delay, or we'll try eighth. We'll try an eighth and widen it just a bit.
Burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose? Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow trends. I don't steal to present. Oh, ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't pretend to get praised like a god. Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow trends. I don't steal to present. Oh, ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't pretend to get praised like a god. Ooh,
I like that delay.
is your purpose? Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow trends. I don't steal to present. Oh, ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't pretend to get praised like a god. Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow trends. I don't steal to present. Oh, ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't pretend to get praised like a god. Ooh,
Let's get Waves Tune in here just to correct these notes, regular Waves Tune. So we already have the real time going. Now I'm using the graph and the auto version, real time version, because real time is going to correct like most of the notes that we need, and then the ones that are like the stragglers, we can just fix those ones by itself in Waves Tune. It's mainly that one note that I don't pretend to get praise like I'm God, but it's instead of it's going praise like I'm God, praise like I'm God, but I think it sounds better when it's praise like I'm God.
I don't pretend to get praised like a god.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't follow trends. I don't steal to present. Oh, ooh, I'm a piece of art. I don't pretend to get praised like a god.
Now the last thing I want to do is do our mastering, and with this I'm actually going to use Waves SSL compressor. Basically this is going to give us some compression on our entire mix. So I'm going to leave the ratio at 4, and then I'm going to adjust the threshold, the makeup, the release, just to, you know, until we get the sound that we're looking for.
I'm a piece of art. I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with the image of a thug. Don't talk about the women and the niggas or the drugs. Don't talk about popping a molly, holding a gun. And it's real fun when you try to get big but can't. Don't promote enough tough shit in a tank, and flex money and projects that ain't, and can't afford to turn down any place just to get a taste. You ain't gonna ever be the greatest until you sacrifice your son that they never appreciated. Hell's under the sun, that's art that we created. Fabricating stories to make it look like you earned it. I'ma burn it by just asking you now, what is your purpose?
So just to check our levels, we'll do Waves WLM plus, and this is going to give us like the proper LUFs for our song. So if we want to reach a certain LUF level, I guess that's how you would say that. For instance, let's go with Spotify, if we want to release to Spotify. So our target is going to be negative 14 LUFs. It's going to be our short-term LUFs, our long-term LUFs, and the range in between the two.
Ooh, I'm a piece of art. I create what you hate. You can't bump this while smoking or drinking while fucking. It don't matter when you hear it every time it hits different.
I like how that ends. Different. Very nice, very nice. So we have a perfect LUF range of negative 14 LUFs using our Spotify preset here in WLM meter.
I'm a piece of art. I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. I'm a piece of art. I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk a
And
mile.
I think it sounds good for what we did. So if you guys have any questions or comments about the plugins I used today or the methods I used today, please leave them down below in the comment section. Just so that you are aware, this video is not sponsored, but these are the plugins that I use. So if you do purchase them, I will get a kickback. It is greatly appreciated. There is going to be a sale actually on Waves plugins until April 1st. They have Waves Tune Real Time here. They have Waves Harmony here, Vocal Writer here. We have CLA Vocals here, CLA 2A. So pretty much all the different plugins that I used in this video are on sale right now. I'm not trying to sell you stuff. I'm just trying to say if you do want to invest into some of the plugins that I used in today's video, then the time for that would be now when this stuff is on sale, and you can also get access to up to 3 free plugins with your purchase. So if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications so you'll be notified every time I upload a brand new video, especially in this series where I'm mixing and mastering you guys' songs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the submission, and as always, stay legendary. I'll see you in the next one.
I'm a piece of art, I'm more than your car. I ain't say I love purple or play guitar. Never said I was the king, spin around and do the walk a mile for a plug. Never said I got around with